Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video I'm gonna be showing you guys how to crochet this dress. It's very simple, just two colors to go with fall time especially, and as you guys can see here, it's gonna work up really fast. It's just a simple double crochet stitches that we're doing. Nice with the straps that go behind your neck to tie, but also the skirt kind of flares out a little bit. It's not like a tight hugging kind of like a pencil dress, you know, type thing. It flares out nice and comfortable. And yeah, so this is what we're gonna be working on. Let's go ahead and grab our materials and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we get started, I'm going to show you all the materials that I'm using for the project. And as you can see here, I have these two colors of the yarn here. This yarn is Cozy Wool Merino by Loops and Threads. This particular one here is a lightweight number 3. It is 55% superwash merino and 45% anti-peeling acrylic. It's very, very soft and it's very, very strong yarn. It's very hard to just kind of snap it easily. This color here is mustard, and this skein here is 410 yards. Or 150 grams or 375 meters if that's what you want. I have two skeins like this, which is going to be the majority color of the dress, and then I have this much that is left over from another project, so I'm going to incorporate this color here because I think it's a nice color to go together, and especially for this spring color dress. So everything is exactly the same except this color here is called Spice. Okay, so these are the two colors that I'm going to be using. So yeah, so you can use whatever colors that you want for your project, but these are mine here. Okay, I have my scissors and a tape measure here to determine our sizes. I'm going to be using two crochet hook sizes. I will use the 3.5mm crochet hook to do the band of the dress, and then and the top part of the dress as well, and I will switch to the 4.25mm crochet hook, which is G6 US, for the bottom part of the dress because I want it to be looser. And of course I have my darning needle here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so to get this project started, I'm going to start with this spice color to do the band of the dress, and I'm also going to be using my 3.5mm crochet hook. Okay, so we're gonna start by doing a slip knot so we can do a foundation chain, and also try to leave the string a little bit hanging out, like about maybe 10 inches or so hanging, so that we can use it to join the two sides of the band together. Okay, all right, so after we do our slip knot like so, we are going to go ahead and do a chain of 18. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Okay, so this part here is going to be the band of your dress. Okay, it's kind of gonna look kind of like a belt, and the length here, or the width of it like this, is going to be however wide you want your band to be. If you want it to be shorter, then do less chains. If you want it to be even longer, then do more. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to go ahead and start my foundation chains here. So I'm going to skip the first stitch, and in the second one I'm going to go in the back of that second stitch and do a half double crochet like that. And then I'm going to go into the next, and I'm going to do a half double crochet like so, and then I'm going to move into the next and do a half double crochet. And keep in mind we're going through the back of the foundation chain. So this is the front here, and this is the back. The flip side is the back, and you're just making sure you pick up the back of it like this. Okay, and then you complete your half double crochet. So you're going to do this all the way down the foundation chain. When you get to this end here, come back and I'll show you how to start the second row, and the second row is going to be a repeat row for this part of the project. Okay, see you guys at the end. Okay, so I have completed the row here of the first row pretty much, and it's half double crochets in the back of the foundation chain. So both sides are looking like that. I apologize for the sound of the helicopter outside. I'm recording, and of course I cannot control all the sounds that are coming in from outside. but hopefully you can hear me more louder than the actual helicopter itself. But anyways, so to go ahead and start the second row of the project, it's gonna also be the repeat of this part of the project, not the whole project, it's just this part. We're going to do a chain one and turn, and then we're going to pretty much do a half double crochet in the back loop of the very next stitch right after the chain one. So that's it here. We're gonna do a half double crochet, then we're gonna move on to the next stitch, and we're gonna grab the back loop and do a half double crochet, and then we're going to move on to the next and do the same, and we're gonna continue these all the way to the end of the row. What I do for my own preference is at the end I go through both loops, so the very last stitch I go through both loops as opposed to the back loop only, and I do that consistently after the end of every row for this part. You don't have to do that. You can go through the back loop only until the very end of the row, but I will show you here what I do as opposed to the other option of what you can do as well. It's good to have options because sometimes some people don't like one thing, so it's good if you have an option of doing something a little bit different if it's something that you prefer. So I'm just coming to the end of the row here. Okay, so that's my second last stitch. I go in the back loop. Okay, so what I do for my project is I go through both loops for this final stitch like this. Okay, so a lot of people may actually prefer to do it like this, but there's also the other option of going through the back loop for the final stitch as well, like this. What I don't like is it makes this kind of have a gappy pull here like this. When I go through both loops for the last one, it kind of keeps it nice and sturdy like this. Okay, so that's a choice for you. All right, so and then again you chain one and turn, and you just repeat what we did for row 2 all the way until you have the length for your waist. So your waistline, whatever that measurements come up to, you're going to make this part of it to fit that, okay? And not stretching it. So don't stretch it, just leave it as is and measure it. So if it's 25 inches, then just make this length to be about 25 inches without stretching it at all. And when you have that, then come back. I'm going to do the same, and then I will come back and show you how to do the next thing. And this, by the way, a lot of people ask me, how do you make a small, how do you make a large, how do you make these sizes? Because I often make these projects in my size so that I can model it for you guys to see. So I usually end up making a small for me, or sometimes medium, depending on what it is. So when I tell you guys measure your measurement, it means if you're large, you just make it, if your waistline is 30 as opposed to 25, it means you just make your band to go to 35 inches or 30 inches, right? So the sizing kind of goes by how I explain it, and not so much how many rows of these you need to do, because everybody has a different size. If I tell you you're large, you must do a row of 100. What if that is not actually the size, the large that you actually wear? So it's always very different. It's just good if you measure yourself as you go to make an outfit that's gonna fit you or the person that you're making it for. Okay, all right, so continue to make this until you have the length of your waist. So when you bring it together and you put it around your waist, you should be able to fit that, and then come back and I will show you guys what to do in the next part of the project. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the band for the dress here, and as you can see, it is super long. It's about 24 inches long. My waistline is about 24, sometimes 24 and a half, depending on a day. But as you can see here, if I measure from the beginning here on my left hand side right here, and if I take it all the way to the other end, it's just a little bit over 24 inches. It's about 24 and a half. Okay, so these 1 inch and 2 inches is a give and take. It's something you can play with. Just don't increase it too much because it's gonna change how it looks. So in this case here, instead of doing 24 inches for my waistline, I do 24 and a half, which is one extra row, because I like even rows, so I decided to do an extra row there. So that's my measurement for my waistline without stretching it, because if you stretch this, it's very, very stretchy. And the reason we leave the stretchiness there is because you also want this part here to be able to fit the widest part of your hips, and when you stretch it, it's gonna fit that. You're gonna be able to pull up your dress or bring it from the top very easily. Okay, all right, so now that I have finished, I'm going to change the color here to start the bottom of the dress. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect these here. So I'm just gonna pull it, and I'm gonna cut it right somewhere here like that, and I'm gonna put that away, and then I'm gonna pretty much kind of bring this in here and lock it in. And we're gonna want to join the two sides like this with our darning needle using the tail that we left earlier at the beginning of the project. So we're gonna put that in our darning needle. Then we're gonna line it up very well like this. And since we did 18 stitches to start with, you should have 17 in this section here, and you should line them up, and they should be lined up very well. Okay, then I'm just gonna take my darning needle, and as you can see here, I'll grab the two sides like this. On this side, the 2 stitches, and then I will do the 2 stitches on the other side as well, or the loops. And then I'm gonna pull, and I'm gonna do one more in that section to lock it in more. And then for the remaining of the stitches, I'm going to grab the outside loop on this side, and then the inside on the opposite side like this. Okay, then I'm gonna pull, and don't pull too tightly. You want it to look a little bit nice, don't make it wrinkled. And then you're gonna do the same thing for the next stitch, and the same thing for the next stitch. So you're grabbing the outside loop on this side and the inside loop on the opposite side, and then you just pull, and you continue these all the way until you get to here. When you get to here, come back, and I will show you guys how to change the color and then start the next part of the project. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so as you can see, I have just done my second last here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my last one. And for the last one, you just go through both loops again as you did at the first one. Then you're gonna go right into the final stitch here, and you're gonna pull. Okay, and then you're gonna do it one more time, go through both loops, and then both loops on the opposite side like that, and then bring it back in. I gotta go back and redo this part because it came off. Okay, so just the final loop there. Okay, and when you have brought them both together like that, this is how the joining looks. So it's nice and neat. Doesn't look like you've joined 2 sides there. And I will just knot this section here, so the string that we had left at the end of this part, and then the string left over from the joining of the 2 sides. Okay, now that you have this is the band. So now you have this like big circle like this, which is the band of your skirt, and it goes right on your waistline. Okay, and now that you have that, we're going to bring the other color. So we're going to bring in the mustard color. And for the mustard color, we're going to use it to do the main project because we have less of this color here. So we're just going to kind of do some patches of this, but most of the dress is going to be in this mustard color. And also because it's spring, it's going to bring out these beautiful flowery colors that we have outside now for the spring, or at least here in the south of France, that's the case. Maybe in some places the spring haven't quite kicked yet. But for here, we have it out, and flowers and bees and insects are all out. So it's going to be nice to have these on. Anyways, so I'm just going to flip this so that this is the middle part here. And I'm going to get my yarn that we're connecting it to. Oopsie. And I'm going to do a slip knot here. And I'm also switching my crochet hook to the bigger size, okay? And I'm going to do a slip knot like this, and then I'm going to go into that very middle stitch here, and then I'm going to bring that in through like this, and then I'm going to do a chain of 2, and then I'm going to do a double crochet. So that counts, the chain 2 here counts as a double crochet. In the next stitch right here, I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch like that. And then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch and do 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then in the next stitch right here, we're going to do 1 double crochet stand alone. And in the next, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And what we're doing here is we're increasing pretty much on every other stitch to create a big flare for the dress. We want it right after our waistline to kind of flare out almost right away. So it's going to be nice and very playful and very girly, and that's what we're going for here. Okay, if you want yours to flare out less, maybe skip 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 before you increase, but you can pretty much kind of create the flare however you want it at this point. I want mine to really flare out, so I'm increasing on every other stitch. If you wanted to flare out a lot more, then you would increase on every stitch to create a very, very instant big flare. Okay, so we're going to continue working this all the way around until you get back to where we just started off right here. When you get back to here, come back and I will show you how to start the next row. And that next row is going to be continuous repetition until we have the length of the dress. But for now, just work this pattern that we just did here until you get back to the beginning here. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed this first row here, and as you can see, this is how it looks like. This is working downwards on the dress. And again, for this second row, just looking at it, it's not flaring out as much as I wanted to. So what I will do is I will increase in the next row as well, and then from there on I will stop increasing and just work down my project. So I've done my 2 double crochets in this stitch here, so I'm going to slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we did from the previous row, like that, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to turn, and as I turn I flip it so I can work comfortably on this side. So to increase in this row, we're going to increase in every other stitch as well. So I'm going to go into the next stitch right here after the chain 2, and in that stitch I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch, like this. Then I'm going to move on to the next stitch, this one here, and I'm going to do 1 double crochet, and then 2 in the next double crochet, and then 1 in the next double crochet, and then 2 in the next double crochet stitch. Okay, so again, you kind of get the idea here. So you're going to continue to do the same thing that I've just done here all around until you get back to here. When you get back to here, come back to the video and I will show you guys how to do the rows of just double crochet with no longer increasing. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've completed the second row here of this mustard color. So as you can see, it's starting to flare out a lot more, and this is how I like it. So I'm going to continue to do just regular double crochets for the rest of the bottom part of the dress. And as you can see here, just did my 2 double crochets in this stitch here. The stitch where we did the chain 2, which is, it counts as a stitch, is a chain as well, or a stitch there. So what I will do is I will just go on top of that and I will do a slip stitch to join the 2 sides together like this. Okay, then I'm going to do a chain 2 and turn, and then from this point on I'm just going to do regular double crochet stitches around, and this is not going to be increasing anything anymore. So just continue to do your double crochets in every single stitch around, and when you get back to the end here, you will do your final one right here, slip stitch on top of that, chain 2, turn, repeat. And in terms of how I'm gonna end it, so it's not gonna be a long dress, it's gonna be on the shorter side. And the way I'm gonna end at the bottom of this is I'll probably end it with a couple of rows of this color here. And then when you have that completed, come back and I will show you guys how to then do the top part of the dress. Okay, so continue doing these regular double crochets around until you have the length of the bottom part of the dress, and then come back so we can continue with the next part. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and worked the length of the bottom part of my dress here. So as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. Okay, so this is the skirt part of the dress, which is the bottom part pretty much. And as you can see, I stopped after doing about 36 rows from the start of the band here. From the start of the band here all the way down, I did 36 rows. And I stopped there because obviously we talked about this dress being a short dress, so we're not gonna go any further. And also I have that much yarn left in this color here, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm not gonna cut the yarn off though, I'm gonna leave it here. And what I will do is I will start to work the top part of my dress using this color here, which is this color. And then depending on how that looks at the end, if it's the bottom is too short, I will increase by continuing in this color. And if it is long enough, then I will cut this color off, okay? But for now, I would leave this color on. I did 8 rows in this kind of brownish color here. I did 8 rows, and then the rest of it is this mustard color. Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, leave these on so that I don't have to reconnect it if I do have to continue increasing the bottom of the dress. So as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. This is where we started our project, so I would like to keep these on the side, and then I am going to pretty much start working on the top part of the dress. And the first thing that I will do after putting it flat on the table like this, knowing that this is my corner and this is my corner here, I'm gonna count how many of these here, because I'm gonna need to kind of leave like a gap here so I can work the rest of the dress. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Okay, so let's say that I put my darning or my stitch marker right here, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then put the next one here. Okay, and how you do this here is gonna be up to you as well. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I do it, but I will pretty much start the other part of my dress, or the top part of my dress, by working this area here. So in other words, this part that I just left here is gonna be the back, or this side here, all of this side here is gonna be the back, and this side is gonna be the front. But the way I'm gonna work the top is I'm gonna start working the top here and going around like this, and then coming back here and then going back like this. So this place, we're not gonna touch it at all with this color. Okay, and also yeah, so this is up to you. You can either have it start somewhere here, or you can start it here. You can start it somewhere here. It's up to you where you want this color to start, and to start going around the front part of the dress. Oh, so with that done here, I am going to pretty much kind of pivot my work like this, and I'm going to start working from where I have this stitch marker, and then I will make it to the other stitch marker. Okay, so again, I'm gonna come in with this color here, which is the same color as this. And again, as I said at the beginning of the video, I have more of this color. I had 2 skeins of this color, and I had literally a half of this skein here. So I don't have any more to be able to use with this, besides just doing this middle part and then the bottom part. Okay, so I have prepared my yarn here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a slip knot first, just like this. I'm gonna remove my hook. I'm gonna remove this stitch marker, knowing that I'm gonna go into that area here, right here. Then I'm gonna just bring that in like this. Okay, and as you can see, I'm gonna hold this here because I'm gonna work it in as I go. So, and this is too gappy here, so what I will probably do is just go into this here, because otherwise I feel like it's gonna leave a big gap there. So I'm gonna go into the top of this here as opposed to the middle. And when I do this, I will also just go on this side here. Okay, so I will go ahead and do my chain 2, which does count as a double crochet. And then I'm gonna go into this spot here and complete a double crochet. Then I'm gonna go into this gap here and complete a double crochet. Then go into this and do a double crochet. And as you can see, I'm not talking about stitches. The reason I don't talk about stitches is because this part here, obviously we don't have clear stitches to work into. So what we do is we try to make sure that each of these half double crochets we did here, one side is a row, this side is a row, so we count this row as a stitch and this side as a stitch, and then we just work ourselves like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do this pretty much all around until I go back to where the other stitch marker is. And then when I get to there, I'm gonna come back so I can show you guys how to then turn our work and work on back on the other side. Okay, so just make sure you're kind of spacing it out like this so that it doesn't look too bunched up together, and it doesn't also look very gappy. So just follow the idea of putting one like this, putting one here, putting one here, putting one here, putting one here. Okay, so do that, and then when you get back to the stitch marker and I will just correct this now and put it here, because this is where we're going to work our last final stitch on top of this instead of the middle, just like we did here. And yeah, go ahead and do that. When you finish, come back to the video, and when you get to here, come back to the video, and I will show you how to start the second row. And the second row is going to be the repeat row for a while for this part of the dress. Okay, so I will see you guys when you get back to here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my double crochets around here, and as you can see, I am now just a stitch away from the stitch marker. So I am going to remove that stitch marker here, and then I'm going to go right where the stitch marker was, just to do my final double crochet there. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. Okay, so this gap here, and then I have my double crochets that go around like this. So we're going to continue to make this side here, and we're going to start to do the halter part of the dress. So again, I start with my chain 2 and turn, and your chain 2 always counts as a double crochet. And then what I will do is I will go right into this stitch. So this is connected to this stitch here. So I will go into this stitch, and then I'm going to do a decrease by going into the next one as well. So I'm going to yarn over, go into this stitch here, bring it back like that. Then I'm going to go directly into the next stitch and bring it back, and it gives me 4 loops on the hook like this. And I'm going to yarn over, go through the first 3, and then go over and yarn over, go through the final 2. So now I have put these 2 double crochets here together. So I decreased by 1 stitch here, and then I will go ahead and complete regular double crochets around. Oops. Okay, so then I will just continue to do my double crochets all the way around until I get back to the other side. And with these here, we're going to decrease on both sides. So I will decrease on this side as well as this side, and by doing that, it makes it so that it comes around our rib side really fast, and it doesn't come slow. Also because we started really deep in the back, and we didn't start it on each end, because the other way you could have done this is to start your halter part of the dress on the sides like this, and then just build it up like this. But since we're starting here, we're going to decrease on both sides so that it decreases this side here really fast. Okay, so I'm going to work my double crochets around until I go back to this side. So I will show you how to do the decrease on this side as well. And then that's pretty much what we're going to repeat until we hit the top of our dress where we will want to stop. But for now, just crochet your double crochets until you have these final 2 stitches to go, and then come back to the video. Okay, so I have worked my second row of double crochets here, and as you can see, I just went around again, back from where we just started here, went around, and now I have 2 stitches to go, and we're gonna decrease here. So I'm gonna go into this stitch, and then this is our chain 2 that we started the row with. So I'm gonna go into here like I'm doing a double crochet, but I will not complete my double crochet. And then I'm gonna go on top of that chain 2, and then bring in another loop, and I'll end up with 4 loops on the hook. I will yarn over, go through the first 3 loops. I have 2, and then yarn over, go through the final 2. So I just decreased here as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do chain 2 to start the row. I'm gonna turn, and then from here I'm going to pretty much join these 2 together to make it a decrease. So I'm gonna yarn over, go into this stitch, bring it back. I have 3 loops on the hook, go into the next stitch, bring it back. I have 4 loops on the hook. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and yarn over, go through the first 3 loops like that, and then yarn over, go through the final 2 loops. So I just decreased in this beginning of this row as well. So what we're doing here is we're decreasing at the beginning of the row, and we're decreasing at the end of the row as well. Okay, as you can see, I finished here and I did a decrease, and then by starting the new row I decreased. I would end here by decreasing, and then chain 2, turn around and decrease as I start. Okay, and then the rest of the stitches we just do the regular double crochets. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going ahead and completing my double crochets here. Oops. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you guys a lot more rows because it's just repeating what we just did here. So you are pretty much just going to continue to decrease here, and this is going to continue to go like this, and eventually it will come all the way to the top of the dress like this. Okay, so I'm gonna work until I have it reaching about my collarbone. So however much or however many rows it takes for that to be. When I see that it reached my collarbone, then I'm going to stop the rows there, and I'm gonna come back to show you guys what to do then to finish off the dress. Okay, again, the other thing I'm gonna do is when I have finished the bottom or the top part here and I see that it's too short in the bottom, I still have this yarn here that I will either do a couple of more rows to increase the bottom, or if I have a lot more of this color here, I could always just go and also use that to finish the bottom. But either way, if it's too short, I will increase the bottom either using this color or using this color. Okay, but for now, let's just worry about finishing the top of the dress here. Just continue repeating this until it reaches the height of the dress that you want, most likely just to get to your collarbone. And then when you have that, come back to the video and I will show you what to do next. Okay, see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and worked the top part of my dress here. So as you can see, I have decided to stop right there, and the reason being is this goes from one side of my collarbone to the other, and also in terms of the length is the length that I want. So again, this is the kind of project that you just keep trying on until you see the fit that you'd like, and then you stop. Okay, so this is why I stop. I have about 28 rows in the top part of the dress here. So this is from starting right here, and I have 28 rows up this way. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the sleeves, or sorry, the straps that will be able to tie behind our back here to be able to hold our dress up. But before I do that, I am going to also talk about the bottom part of the dress. So in the last clip, I showed you guys how I just did a few rows in this and then I stopped. So I decided to go ahead and add more rows. I don't remember exactly how many rows I had in this color, but I think I had 4 to 5, maybe 6. But anyways, I've added more just to finish the yarn that I have, because as you can see here, this is all I have left in this color. So I decided to just do a few more rows here, and it makes the dress a couple of inches longer, but not too much, because I think I only added 3 rows, maybe 3 or 4 rows. So it's not that much. So this is not going to be able to do another row around. So I decided I'm just going to end it here. So I will obviously finish off that last stitch here, and then I will slip stitch on top of that chain 2 like that, and then I will cut the yarn. Oops, I will just cut it somewhere here, and then I will do a chain 1 and pull just to lock that in like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put these away, and now that the bottom is done, I'm not gonna do much with it. I will obviously weave in these later, as well as what I changed the color here and any other weaving ins that I need to do. But for now, we're gonna do the straps for the dress. So the way I will do that, so you have 2 choices of what you could have done here. You could have just cut this here and just do a long chain that you can weave into this top row and then tie behind your neck. But I'm actually just gonna do 1 long strap on this side, 1 long strap on that side, and then the 2 will join in the back to be able to tie the dress up. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that one, because it's probably the little bit of a little bit complicated of the 2 choices that you have. So I still have my working yarn connected here. So what I will do is I will do a chain of 100 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. Okay, so I do have my long chain of 100 here. Now again, the chain is up to you how long you want to do it. So I do it a little bit longer than I actually need, because we're gonna work slip stitches down the chain, and that's gonna shrink it a little bit. Okay, so just for that reason alone, I'm probably gonna lose about 10 to 15 chains for this strap, okay? But nevertheless, I do 100. You can do whatever many chains you want. And I'm gonna cut these here. So I'm just gonna cut it somewhere there. And I'm going to do one more chain to slip stitch it like this, so it just locks in. So that stitch doesn't actually end up existing after I pull it like that. Okay. So, and then I am going to go ahead and prepare my yarn here to connect it to the other side, because we are going to do the chain on this side as well, and then we will work our slip stitches to be able to go across and to the other side. Okay, so again, I just prepare my yarn. I will do a slip knot here, just like that. Okay, and then I am going to go to the top stitch right here. Make sure you're going to the very top stitch right there, and bring your loop from the slip knot across and bring it through that gap. And then you're going to start your chains from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're just going to do this until you have 100 chains on this side as well. So do that. When you've completed your 100 chains on this side, come back to the video and I will show you how to start your slip stitches. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have done 100 chains on this side as well. So now we have 2 long chains that will create the strap here, but we're going to make it a little bit thicker so that yeah, just so that it's a little bit thicker than what it is here. And this is where we're doing slip stitches down it. If you prefer your strap to be thin, then you will just cut the yarn right here and then slip stitch to lock it in, and then that's it. And then you'll just weave in your ends here. You can cut these shorter, cut whatever you will have here shorter. But because I'm going to be working slip stitches, I will show you how to do that, okay? And by the way, after you finish that, you will just be able to tie your straps behind your neck, and then it's done. But I will show you how to do this, the slip stitches. So I did 100 chains here. What I will do is I will do one more, because that working chain doesn't count as a stitch. So then I'll skip that, and then I'll go into this next one here, just so we can have 100 chains here and 100 on the other side, okay, or 100 stitches. So I will skip this, and into this next one, I will go into that and do a slip stitch, just like that. Okay, and then I will go into the next stitch right here, do a slip stitch, and then into the next, go into that and do a slip stitch, and into the next slip stitch, and the next, and then we just continue doing this all the way down the chain. And I will let you do that. So as you can see, it makes it a little bit thicker. So this is the chain here without the slip stitching, and then this is the slip stitching here. So it's not that big of a difference, but it's thick enough that there's a little bit of a difference. Okay, so I will have you guys work until you get to the base of this chain. So work all the way to here. When you've completed your final one in this first chain here, come back to the video. I will show you how to work across, and then how to do the slip stitches on the other side of the chain as well, okay? So let's meet when you get to the base here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and done the slip stitching down my chain here. So as you can see, obviously it's a lot shorter, not a lot, not too much, just a little bit. So if you see, if I just put it again, it's the one that I have not done the slip stitching on, you will see that it is pretty much a little bit of a difference here. So let's it's about maybe 10 chain difference, okay? So look, Okay, so that's how different it is. That's how many inches or how many chains you lose, or inches, not chains, that you lose just by doing the slip stitching. This is why I did 100, so that this is pretty much the length of my strap here. Okay. All right, so I am in the bottom here, so I have gone ahead and done my last slip stitch on that final chain there. And now I'm just gonna work single crochets across the top here, but I'm going to bring this little string through along as well, just because I can weave it in like this. Okay, so to do my single crochets, I will just go into that first stitch here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and complete a single crochet. And then I will go into this stitch and complete a single crochet, and then into that stitch complete a single crochet, and then I just do a single crochet on every stitch across. Okay, so as you can see, nothing very complicated, nothing too complicated for you guys. So just very simple. You just do your single crochets across, and you just do it on every single stitch that you have across here. Okay, so as you can see, it just kind of makes it nice and complete like this, and then you will have your strap. So I'm gonna do these again across until I get to the other base here. So this is my final stitch here, where I will do a single crochet, and then we will commence by doing our slip stitches up the other side of the strap. And again, we just do exactly what we have done on this side, and when we finish, our project is finished, beside maybe weaving in ends here and there. Okay, but for now, let's meet when you have completed your final single crochet right here. Okay, lovelies, again, so I have worked my single crochets on top here of the stitches, of the double crochet stitches, and as you can see, I did my final single crochet on that final stitch here. So then for the chains, I'm just gonna go right into the next chain and complete a slip stitch, and then I'm gonna go right into the next chain and complete a slip stitch. And as you can see, I just pick up from where we stopped the single crochets, and I go right into doing the slip stitches, and I have 100 chains to be able to slip stitch into until I get to the end of this chain. And when I do, I will come back to show you guys how that looks like, and I will also be able to come and finish the project off with you guys. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, we just have to work the slip stitches all the way up and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovely people, so I have done my slip stitching on this side as well, and as you can see, I am at the end. So as you can see, this is it here. So all I will do here is take my scissors and just snip that off. I'm gonna do this, put that away, and then what I will do here is I will do a chain one. Should have done this before I cut it, but it's okay. Chain one and then pull. And as you can see, all I will do again here is I will just knot these once or twice, and then we will snip those hanging pieces off. Okay, so I will just take this and snip that off, and then snip the other side off here. Voila, comme ça. And this side I don't have to cut anything off because we looped around, we went up and then came back down without anything. And here I weaved in by just working along the little string that was hanging. So yeah, that's it. So all I will do is just weave these in and weave in this, and then that's it. And I think there's one more, maybe not. No, I don't have any more. So everything is nice and clean. Yeah, so that's pretty much the end of the project here. So again, when I have these on, this is going to go from the front part of my neck, and it's gonna go around, and I'm gonna knot it here as you have seen in the pictures. And then that's how the dress is gonna be. Yeah, so this is pretty much the end of the project here. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this to the end, and thank you for following through with it. Again, if you guys make any of these things, any of these projects that I do, and you have Instagram or Facebook, you can always tag me so I can see your versions, or how you kind of do it a little bit different or exactly the same as mine. I would like to see it in different colors, how this dress comes out in different colors and things like that. But yeah, thank you so much again. I hope you guys will be able to subscribe, to support, like, comment, share, and I will absolutely see you guys in the next one. Bye.